Good morning. It's Monday, March 31st, about 8 a.m. We've had heavy downpour all night long with thunder and lightning. Pretty big storm. We have about 20 of us crammed into Derek Knob's shelter at the moment, and a group of people are making a run for it today. But the storm's still raging, so Dodger, Gretel, and I are staying put for a little while to see how it plays out. We may be here for the day, we may be here for half a day. We'll have to see how it plays out. But let me show you what it looks like around here. Okay, you wouldn't know it from this video, but it's raining pretty hard right now. Maybe you can hear it on the roof. We've had some thunder and lightning. I'll take you inside the shelter here shortly, but people are getting themselves together and I don't want to disturb that, so. People getting ready to head out. As I mentioned, Dodger, Gretel, and I might stay put for a little while, see how it plays out. But yeah, stayed dry, stayed warm. Hopefully we can get out on the trail today, but it's going to be a river. The trail is going to be just covered in water. And as long as it's raining hard like this, I don't know that I'm going to want to get out until it stops. It's supposed to be sunny tomorrow, so we may be delayed by a day, our plans. We'll see how it plays out. We have plenty of food, we're good. And all is well. About 8:15 a.m. The heavy downpour is still ongoing. Follow-through hiker out there is breaking down his tent, and I'm assuming he's going to hit the trail. I'd say there have been about 6 or 7 people that have already started out in this mess. I'm not going to be one of them. So anyway, hopefully we can get back at it when this all clears away. So the Smoky Mountains aren't disappointing, exactly as anticipated, I guess. It's 9:37. The rain has gone away for now, so we kind of outlasted the storm. We decided to go ahead and hit the trail. Pretty much everybody else that was in the shelters already left. They left in the midst of the storm, so they probably got really soaked initially. But again, the rain's gone for now. I think we're going to have more thunderstorms at 7 p.m. tonight, so we might actually be able to make some progress. So the shelter we stayed at, Derek Knob, is slated to hold, I believe, 12 people. And we had people coming in late, so we packed 18 into a shelter of 12. So we were rubbing elbows all night. Still slept well. It's nice to be able to get everybody in an area where they can be warm and dry. The thunder was booming and the lightning was really hitting hard last night. And I mean, it was really a hard rain. So hopefully we're done with that for the day. Right now, we're going to go 7.5 miles to the next shelter, kind of reevaluate, but I'd like us to push the 12.5 miles, 13 miles for the day, which will get us to Klingman's Dome at mile 10. It'll get us to mile 200, and it will set us up for getting off the trail tomorrow. After 3 or 4 miles, we can get off at Newfound Gap and get down into Gatlinburg. Everything I own is either wet or muddy, so it'd be nice to kind of get it cleaned up, as well as get myself cleaned up at this point. You know, it's just all part of the fun, I guess, of being out here, but still enjoying myself. So here we go. This is what the trail looks like this morning. It's soggy. I'm sure that part of the trail is going to be slippery, and also there's going to be parts where you feel like you're walking through a creek. But it looks like it's drained pretty well in here. That's where I'm going, and this is where I've come from. As per usual, Gretel got out ahead, probably about 10 minutes ahead of me, but he moves so fast, he's easily going to probably get to the shelter about 30 minutes ahead of me. Dodger's coming in behind me, finishing his packing up. He'll probably zoom by me shortly. So anyway, all is well, and I'll see you shortly and show you a little more. Yesterday's video, at the end of the day, I'd forgotten to do a closing. So I did my closing in the shelter, and there were a lot of people around, and it was super dark. So hopefully, you know, the fact that it's hard to see my face, you realize the situation I was in. I didn't really want to disturb anybody with lights and all, but yeah, that's where I was at. Anyway, here we go. So I'm currently on top of a ridge, and I don't know if you can see it, but we're basically above the fog line. Or actually not fog line, well, cloud line, I guess you'd say. fog cloud, I'm not sure. That's on that side of the ridge. On this side of the ridge, there's nothing. So at least the skies look somewhat clear. And I think we're going to be free of rain most of today. Maybe we'll come back this afternoon as it suggested. So I guess we'll find out. But all is well still, just plugging along. Out on my own at the moment. Obviously, when you're hiking like this, there might be a lot of you hiking the trail, but you really don't see anybody because everybody's pace is different. But yeah, just doing my thing. Sorry, I'm zooming in and out, but here we go. Okay, let's try this again, round 2. I realized a little while ago that I forgot to make my weekly dedication for this upcoming week. Last week, I dedicated my hike to my son, Nathan. I hope you had the opportunity to watch some of the videos. I'll post more when I get into Gatlinburg in a few days. But it's been eventful. I've been through some storms. I've had some nice hot days. I've met a lot of new people, and I'm going to keep this adventure going. And I appreciate all that Nathan's done to be a part of that in my life in the past, and I hope continues to be a part of in my future. So I was about to make this dedication, like I said 5 minutes ago, when I could hear the rumblings of thunder behind me, and I thought maybe it was going the opposite direction, and maybe it was. It never really got upon me, but just as I pulled my phone out, it started hailing really hard, and then that was followed by a heavy downpour, so I got drenched. Thankfully, it only lasted for about 5 minutes, and it's gone. I'm in my gear. I was just about ready to take off my rain gear because I was getting overheated, but lesson learned, I'm going to keep it on now. Anyway, this week's dedication goes out to all my coffee drinking retired teacher friends. We meet every Wednesday at 2:30 at the Starbucks by where Kaysburg where Kaysburg is, a little further down, I guess. And so I want to dedicate this week to Lori, Robin, Kirsten, Kelly, Michelle, Jill, and Belinda. I'm so sorry, I was forgetting some names. But ladies, this week is for you. Thank you so much for being my friends in teaching and beyond. You've really supported me over the years as a teacher and as a friend. And I want to show you some good things this week. You'll be with me during all of these storms. Hopefully you'll watch as I climb the highest point on the Appalachian Trail, Clingman's Dome. Now that could happen as early as today, definitely tomorrow. It's all pending rain. And then finally, you'll get to experience the tackiness of what is Gatlinburg, Tennessee. There's been a lot of talk about how tacky that community is. So you'll get to go right in there with me and live it. So thanks for being a part of my friendship in my life, and thanks for following along. And hopefully I can push hard this week and show you that this week is for you. 10:43 a.m. Still about 3.3 miles from the nearest shelter. I have rain just coming down on me really hard right now. It has been for the last 10 minutes, mixed with hail. You can hear the thunder in the background. I haven't seen lightning. The fog's coming in. Yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll continue on, obviously, but I'm going to take a break at this first shelter. I think Gretel will have moved on to the second one, and I think Dodger's probably going to break at the first shelter too. He's behind me, and he usually doesn't like hiking in this weather either. So I'd imagine he's going to probably stop at the first shelter and see if we can wait it out, and we'll just have to catch up with Gretel later. But yeah, I'm going downhill. Very, very wet trail, very slippery. As you can see, it's like walking through a creek. So I have to mind myself so I don't slip and fall in this mud. Got all the rain gear on. I'm staying dry, I think. I think there's only a matter of time that this rain gear kind of wets through, meaning that, I'm going to get wet underneath it because it can only handle so much. And I'm sure it's already reached that point, but I'm not feeling bad at all. In 3.3 miles, I'll get there. So I'm going to let you go for now, and I'm going to head on my way. This is what it looks like walking in a torrential downpour. The trail is now a river or creek or whatever you want to call it. I've been trying to stay to the shoulder of it as much as possible, though I have walked in it a bit, so my shoes are completely soaked. I have neoprene socks on over my Ninja socks, my toe socks, but I can feel that they're completely soaked through, so those neoprene socks don't really hold water out, I don't think, like I thought they would. I do have 2 pairs of socks in my backpack that are way down deep, wrapped in plastic, and I know they're going to be dry for later. And if tomorrow the sun does come out like it's supposed to, then I should be able to put those dry socks on for tomorrow and then hang these socks off my pack to dry. Now, keep in mind, I'm wearing shorts right now, but I have rain pants over the top. So it feels like having pants on. I'm not cold at all. It's actually pretty warm out, maybe in the 60s, thankfully. So I'm not chilled at all. But even though I have rain gear on, it's soaked through, and my clothing is probably soaked through as well. And it's not going to dry overnight. But the good news is I do again have another round of clothing that I wear at night that is dry. And likely, if I really wanted to, I could wear that clothing tomorrow hiking if it's sunny out and just put this away wet. And then that should get us into Gatlinburg. And once in Gatlinburg, I can do some laundry, dry everything up, dry myself up, get cleaned up, and that should take care of business. But one of my primary concerns before coming out here was being mentally able to handle this sort of stuff. And so I walked around in the rain with my pack on at home, but it's nothing like this. I mean, our rain, it can be heavy at times, but honestly, I never got out in a heavy rain. So this is my first experience hiking through rain, hiking through a little creek, so to speak. And actually, mentally, I feel fine. I have no issues right now other than the fact that I'm doing it, you know? And so I am gonna stop at the first shelter for a little while and kind of regroup and see if there's any others there. I think Gretel's kind of pushed on, but who knows? I'm certain that Dodger will stop at that first one. So we'll meet up there, I'm sure. And then from that first one to the next one is about 1.5 miles further, so not too much farther. The concern I have is that the second one is going to be packed full of all the people last night, and I will be coming in last, so hopefully they'll make room for me like we did for the people that came in last night. But I guess it will, we'll have to figure that out when I get there. I mean, I don't want to set up a tent, but if I have to, I guess I will. It'll just have to be put away wet tomorrow. Others are doing it and they're fine, so I guess I can do it as well. But that's where I'm going. You can see the white blazes for the trail. This is where I'm coming from. And yeah, we're just pushing along. Let's get there, baby. I think I'm about 2.5 miles out from the shelter, and the rain's let up a teeny bit, but it had been coming down hard for quite a while. And yeah, I'm just enduring it. All right, so about 12:30, this is the state of the trail. I'm gonna go off to the side. You're gonna take it through the middle?
Yeah.
There you go. Dodger is motorboating through the water. I myself will stay to the side. But thankfully, we have a slight reprieve from the rain. At least I hope we do. And we have a ways to go yet. But I think at this point, I'll probably end up motorboating myself. So we'll see. Here, let's give it a whirl. My shoes are filthy. So, yeah, that was the trail. We just kind of walked through. I don't know if you got the footage. If not, Dodger's out in front of me now. And feet are thoroughly drenched going through that. But, you know, it is what it is. So let's get there so we can dry off. It is currently 3 o'clock. Dodger and I made it to Seiler's Bald Shelter. Gretel is at the shelter right after this one, which is about 1.8 miles away. Devil Creek Gap Shelter. So Gretel left earlier than we did this morning, and we all got caught out in a storm. But Dodger and I, we got caught out in a thunder and lightning storm with torrential downpours. So we were basically walking along a creek instead of a trail. And I was starting to get really cold. So we came across Seiler's Bald and we decided to call it a night there. And there are 2 good points that come from this. We have about 10.5 miles to the next shelter tomorrow. Gretel has about 8.7, so not much further. We'll meet up with him at Klingman's Dome, which is the highest point on the Appalachian Trail at like 6,600 feet, something like that. But also, our shelter we're staying at tonight only has 5 people in it. So we have a lot of space to ourselves to dry out our gear and to kind of warm up. The other shelter is going to have about 18 to 20 people packed into it, and they're all younger. So it's nice to be able to get away from that big group because there's nowhere to dry anything out, and you're not always guaranteed a spot in the shelter when it's that crowded. I would have been one of the last people coming into the shelter, but as it stands, we have very few people in our shelter right now, so we're looking good. It's, I think I mentioned it already, 3 o'clock. It's early for the day as usual, but when you have such a huge storm come through, it makes it tough, and there's more rain coming later. But tomorrow's supposed to be sunny, so we're hoping that we can make some good progress, kind of make up the fact that we didn't get as far today. Right now it's clear, well, it's not clear, but the rain has let up. You can kind of see what the rain does to these shelters. At least this one is a pond out in front where we'd normally cook our food, and then also where the grill is, or the fire pit. They're not allowing fires right now because of the burn ban, even though these have fireplaces. So I'm going to take you inside. Do you guys mind if I film for a minute? Oops. All right. So this is what it looks like inside a shelter with only a handful of people instead of 20 packed in. Anyway. Good evening. It's about 5 p.m. I stopped over at Seiler's Bald Shelter, a little short of where I wanted to stop, but you know, the rain and all kind of kept that from happening. It didn't clear up, but it's been non-rainy for the last few hours, so we could have kept going. But the next shelter was really packed full of people, so I'm glad that we're avoiding that. We only have 5 now. We have a lot of room to hang our clothes up to dry. I mean, my clothes are drenched. I have a dry set of clothes that I wear to bed that I'm wearing right now, but my hiking clothes are drenched. So every morning here in the near future, I'll be putting on wet shoes, wet socks, wet shirt, wet everything. It warms up once it gets going, but it's not fun putting it on initially. Anyway, we're going to be in Gatlinburg, Tennessee here real soon. Tomorrow's supposed to be sunny, from what I understand, although there's another round of storms rolling through tonight, from what I also understand. Anyway, all's well, still having a good time, and we're going to get at it tomorrow and see what we can do. So thanks again for following along, and I appreciate all of your support. Sunny D out.